Hey everybody, this is David with hold on just a second. Okay, that is way better. Hi, my name is David. I'm the host of Garage Talk, where we look at films and we get, under the hood of the film and look at all the stuff that happens behind the camera so you guys get a sense of what our movies are like. Today we're going to be talking about an amazing film that is part of the Scene in Eugene project called Live Free or Die. First is Miles Dixon, one of the lead actors in the show.
Hello. Tis me.
Okay. Don't worry about taking too short of a time. You've got a lot of time, so you can say as much as you want. But you don't have to know. Just give me a hard time.
I play Eric in the movie.
That's beautiful. Perfect. And to Miles' left is the writer, director, and one of the producers on this amazing film, Chelsea Reel.
Hey. Woo! Hey, what's up, people? Party people. I'm Chelsea. I'm a Virgo. I'm 28 years old. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this community. It's rocking. Pretty cool.
Awesome. And last but certainly not least is Malakhai Schnell, the other awesome actor in this film.
Hello. I'm Malakhai Schnell, and I know where cameras are and where not to look.
Excellent. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me and allowing me to be a total goofball and do embarrassing things, which is kind of what I do naturally as a person. So, aside from all of that nonsense, Chelsea, can you tell me a little bit about the film?
Sure, yeah. It's, do I look at a camera? Do I look at you? Hey.
You look at me.
Okay, I'll probably look in between maybe at the fan. It's about two brothers. Miles plays the youngest brother, and Malakhai plays the oldest. And Malakhai's lived in Eugene, Oregon for some time now, a few years, and he's acclimated into the scene of Eugene. Drop. Boom.
Nice!
and Miles plays a super uptight embodiment of my experience of the contrast of coming from the East Coast to the West Coast. There's like a buttoned collar, things stay on the surface and you move really quickly. And to come here where there's so much exploration and opportunity and diversity in different ways, here than there are there. It was like black and white. So I wanted to write two characters that represented that. And that's what the story's about. They come back together and they, try to be nice and make it work. And, it's their story.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, Miles, can you tell me a little bit about what inspired your character?
Inspiration for the character.
Yeah.
Well, nothing external is coming to mind, like for people in my life that I've based off besides me in the past. Mm-hmm. I think it was maybe like I tried to make it more extreme, but I definitely have that in me. Just you're walking around like a brick wall or something. Like if you tried to hug it, it would be like painful. Just I don't know, really arrogant and self-centered. That's been me in the past. So trying to, I don't know, explore that and but yeah, I guess playing with that. Yeah.
Was that hard to kind of get back into that mindset then? If those were, it seems like, because that's not the experience I've had with you. You're
I'm
a
glad.
very friendly and warm and caring person. So to kind of look at that and kind of move back into that mindset, what was that like?
It was honestly kind of fun and felt good because that felt like that was, if anything, maybe it helped me get rid of that more or just like view it with, I don't know, like watching the movie for the first time put completely together in the final form was really interesting because it made me think of that's actually what I was really kind of like. I mean, maybe not to that extent, but and then seeing that like transition, I thought was really cool. I don't know, but it was kind of fun to be able to do that unabashedly and just act like that, to not have, I don't know, to explore that.
No, that's great. I think you did a great job. Like I said, watching it was watching somebody who was painfully guarded and awkward. So so it was
Yeah.
good. It was good. So Malachi, what was sort of your inspiration for your character?
Definitely, like Chelsea said, from this idea of Eugene being a place of comfort for people to let loose and like explore. I think wilder aspects of themselves that they haven't explored yet. Which isn't really my life story. I've been more like continue to refine myself more and more, but to explore that culture and to explore what it'd be like to have a little brother. I'm an only child, so that was just a huge thing to take on. And I credit one of my friends, Mitchell Beath, for being just a really good older brother I got to watch during high school age. Okay. And that sort of love and like, I don't really want to use the term ownership, but it's what's coming to head. Like you're my little guy.
Yeah.
A lot of that I think I channeled from the way that I saw him treat his little siblings.
It's cool. I really appreciated that, and as I was watching the film, because I felt like Cliff was super kind of loving and accepting of his brother, and kind of kept trying throughout the film to reestablish that connection, and would get a little further, and then something would happen, and then he'd come back to it. So I thought that was great. Do you feel like he started off like Eric, and then just slowly over time that's who he became?
Yeah. I think he got away from the family house reasonably a similar time that Eric's actually taking this trip. Okay. And he is a step ahead of it, but they have been through a lot of the same life trauma, at least with their parents.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I found a lot of, like, joy in relating to Miles in a more historical manner of, like, like, I've been through that and I'm here. And I think that it kind of showed in a way that I didn't plan. I think it shows potentially, hopefully, between our characters that, like, my character might deal with some of the same problems he deals with, just having longer to adapt.
Yeah. Now, how much time did the three of you spend kind of talking about that backstory, that history that we don't see, but then becomes a real important piece of the story? And anybody feel free to talk about that.
We did it a lot.
Yeah, kind of a lot, actually.
Totally.
We had like a whole like rehearsal that was a rehearsal process that was really open, because what's in the actual film is, I think, pretty different than what was in the like original script.
Yeah.
So there was like a basic skeleton of a scene, and then me and Malachi prepped a little bit and just thought about it, and then we met, and then we all thought about it together a lot. So that was really cool.
A lot of improv.
Yeah.
You guys did, a lot of improving, and like, okay, so these are our characters now. Have conversations and like see what happens, and the whole dad thing, I think, which isn't actually a part of the film, but it was a big part of our rehearsal and their relationship, was the estranged relationship between Malachi's character and their dad, and how he never talks about him anymore, and that came out of improv, which didn't actually make it onto the film, but it created a lot of the relationship, so cool. It added a lot to it. Yeah,
we sat around during the improv just arguing about our dad back in New Hampshire. We were like, Dad was this way, you know?
Yeah.
Have you guys worked that way in the past, or was this something new, and was that hard to get into?
I think it's the most I've been offered up that freedom of like, what was your dad like in New Hampshire, instead of maybe somebody who's telling me like, this is how I see your character.
Yeah.
And I think that freedom is really important to let an actor take ownership of it. Yeah. It's been a journey for me to find that power in myself to take ownership of the character, and this helped me a lot for sure. Yeah. Because it was both ends coming together. Like, yes, please take it, run with it.
That's really cool. Yeah, Chelsea, was that difficult as a director then to sort of like go, okay, because you have this whole idea walking into it, the script and the story, and then you kind of go, okay, let's see where that goes.
Well, it was my first time directing.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is super cool.
Yeah, and so it's really a process. Yeah. Like, it's its own thing after you have an idea and you like make a screenplay and everything. I kind of imagined it like a kid. Kind of like, let it, okay, now you're walking. Okay, just don't kill yourself. You know? So yeah, it was a balancing act between like sticking to the vision, but letting it be what it was instead of, what I wanted it to be. And it was way better than I could have if I had stuck to what I wanted to do, it was way better with everyone putting their own thing into it. It was really cool to see. Yeah.
No, Walter is not here, but Walter King is the cinematographer on this film, right?
Big props to Walt.
Yeah.
Walt has a big part of that. Yeah.
Well, and so that's kind of an interesting question. Is that so for those of you out there watching this that don't know what the cinematographer does,
Who's out there?
they're responsible for taking the ideas and the concepts and the image that the director has in their head and making that a reality. So they're in charge of saying, what do you want, and then making that happen. So was that difficult for Walter to sort of take those ideas and concepts that you put together and then within kind of the context of an improv script, make that a reality?
It wasn't difficult. He was really patient with me because he knew it was my first time. And so he was really great about like being a mentor kind of. And he has like 15 years of experience. So it was really great to work with him. He has a beautiful vision for things. So I just went with like, these are the colors that I'm looking for. And this is what the feel of what it is. And he came up with a lot of great shots, like the one in the phone and the plate thing, which if you watch the video, you'll know.
Yeah, those are so cool.
But yeah, I wish Walt was here because, he was such a big part of this, you know. Yeah. And he was flexible, which is so important.
Yeah.
Great DP.
So, Miles, you're an actor, of course, obviously, but you also have a pretty prolific background as a director, and you have done a lot of acting and directing in your own work. But was it interesting to sort of watch Chelsea work as a first-time director and sort of think about the way you started and you kind of moved into the project as you did? What was that like?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I learned so much, genuinely. This was the first time I had acted and had a director, which was really cool.
Yeah.
What Malakhai was saying about giving, like, freedom and a director, like, giving the actor, like, asking questions instead of giving answers.
Yeah.
So being like, where's this dude from? Or, like, what do you guys think about this? That was, like, always the kind of, that was how Chelsea was talking with us and working with us. And just feeling or experiencing what that's like as an actor was really helpful for me, going back into, like, different directing work to be like, oh, that's really helpful. That's a lot better than giving line readings and being really stupid and limited. And so it was really cool. Chelsea was amazing.
Yeah. And you think, and so you're going to take some of that into, because you have a scene in Eugene project coming up that you're directing.
Yeah.
So you're going to take some of that into that process.
I'll try my best. I don't know if I might need Chelsea's help, but
There you go.
Stop it.
Yeah, so that's actually interesting. You had mentioned the color, and I wonder if, well, I'm a little biased right now because I'm working on a project that has some hints of this director in it, but I was sort of reminded as I was watching the movie of sort of a little bit of like a Wes Anderson film where the color and the gradient that's laid over it is such an integral part to the piece. There was some really phenomenal color choices in this movie that were really striking. Was that part of the plan all along, or was that something you discovered as you were working on the film?
That's Walt magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a vision of this story, and I knew nothing of color gradients or none of that stuff, like all the lights and everything. Yeah, that's Walt magic and Rick magic. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But I did have a vision of, I want him to be the least colorful one, and there to be a lot of color, and he's coming into this world of color foreign, he looks out of place.
So then the thing that I find interesting then is does the wine getting spilled on him?
Oh God.
What?
Well, that was the whole thing.
Okay, well, this is the inside scoop you're getting here, folks.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe originally it was for color because he walks in and he gets wine spilled on him, so boom, there's color. And
that was the original idea. I remember you saying, like, we're going to add this, because that wasn't in the script. You were just like, me and Walt, I think it was Walt,
it was probably
had
Walt.
that idea of, like, let's physically spill color or something.
Yeah.
But then it became a fiasco because Miles was a part of another project where he needed a beard. but we had already filmed half of it without him having a beard.
Okay.
And so we needed to film things that were still in the same day, but he would have a beard, but not. So we filmed the wine being spilled before,
Okay.
and then he had a beard. So then we
Oh,
had
yeah.
to figure that out. And
So that
yeah.
shot when I get the wine spilled, I think the reason you don't see the front of my face, if that's right,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
because I actually had a beard.
Yeah.
So hopefully we pulled it off so you
Yeah,
don't
no,
notice.
you did.
But then when it cuts to me inside, hopefully you don't notice. But if you would have seen my face, I would have been like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I didn't see it. I did not see a beard on your face when you filmed that. So that's great.
Cool.
I think is that Nick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the
Cowboy.
massive amount of beard that Nick had took all the beard
away,
attention in
yeah.
that
Right.
scene.
Do it.
Yeah.
So one of the things I found interesting as I was watching the film is Eugene plays a central part. Now that's kind of a given because one of the focuses of Scene in Eugene is that it is a series of films that are about the city of Eugene and the community of people that live in it and its diverse kind of culture and population. And so, of course, it's an important part of all of the Scene in Eugene projects. But I think in this film, it plays a very prominent part in a way that maybe I certainly in the projects that I've worked on has not had that same piece, and that it is a living, breathing character in this film. And I think, being a transplant to Eugene myself, I moved here from the East Coast about 10 years ago. I think I came over here very similar to sort of how Miles' character does, and over time maybe moved towards that side of things that Malachi's character does. So, Malachi, how much of the city of Eugene did you sort of allow that to influence your character, and how did that then become a part of who that character was?
I mean, a lot. My sense of what Eugene is, as that place of comfort for lost souls or people who are trying to find themselves, and that's something that Chelsea talked about. So from the beginning, it was like a theme. Yeah, I think that was the biggest reason.
Yeah.
We're an island of misfits in
Yeah.
Eugene.
Yeah, and that developed just. I mean, I've lived here my whole life, but I'm more of an observer and a shy enough person to where I don't like dive in and start dancing. 9 times out of 10, I don't. So I got to explore what it would be like to feel free enough and to, I guess, give up self-judgment enough to jump in.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I got to work towards that. Yeah,
Really?
and honestly, one thing that informed me a lot was Laura. The way that Laura
Totally.
is as a human being, just
Yeah.
very much like similar to the character, but just, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And very just confident about it.
You
That's
just
awesome.
seem like that. You seem like
Oh,
you
really?
would-
In
yeah,
that
just
way?
as a person,
Oh.
you just seem like such a carefree spirit.
Yeah, it's it's maintained through a lot of internal turmoil.
So you feel like you maybe had started out, you identify more with the other brother?
With Miles, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard for me to say, but yeah. Both me and Miles's character Eric, we both Cliff and Eric are from New Hampshire, and we're both from Eugene, so we
Oh, wow.
really, Chelsea was our point of reference there to bring, for me at least, my strongest point of reference, I think, to bring. Miles, are you from Eugene?
Yeah.
Anyway, Chelsea helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Like, what is an East Coast person like? And Chelsea got to help a ton with that.
That's not what every East Coast person is like. Let's just
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah.
It's
Right,
like
right.
it's a
get in trouble.
personification of an extreme.
No. When I first moved here, I would be walking down the streets of Eugene, and someone would look at me and smile, and my knee jerk is, "What do you want?" Like,
Yeah, East Coast. New
that's
York.
East Coast. That's
Yeah.
New York.
Well, you
Yeah,
grew up
Yeah.
in Chicago.
exactly.
Yeah.
I had an experience working with a guy who was really great, who, I've had experiences with East Coast people that it's not bad, but it's just really, you can feel the difference between someone like Laura.
Yeah.
I mean, again,
Yeah.
this is totally generalizing, but
I get it.
And versus someone who seems like they have come from an environment where trust is more dangerous or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that was something that I really related to overall through the process of watching that film, was sort of that idea. And I really did like that transition at the end as you kind of make that decision. You're standing at the door making a decision about what you're going to do. We won't spoil it, But you're standing at the door making this sort of weighed with this decision of what am I going to do, and the decision you make, I think a lot of people who move into a new environment and are trying to experience who they are and figure out things at any age can relate to that. So I thought that was great. So I think one of my favorite questions to ask is, what was your favorite part of making this film? As you moved through it, what did you enjoy more than anything else? You want to start with Miles? Who wants to go first?
I loved just the process of being able, because like literally the scenes like, that me and Malakhai have towards the end, we have like kind of not a fight scene, but just like an argument. That, I don't remember how much was scripted, but so much was out of just like playing together in rehearsal, and then we would like write that into the script, and then we would continue to rehearse. So like we would improv something, and then she would write down on paper, and then we would have that to prepare. So it was like this, it was just a really involved process. That scene in particular, though, I really liked. And the one with Laura right before that was kind of the same way. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that scene.
I don't know, being able to like workshop it and then actually see a scene through all of these different stages, and then have multiple takes to like explore it, and then instead of just like a very routinized, like boxed in.
Yeah.
That was like amazing. I don't know if a specific moment, but that was really cool.
The process itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Chelsea, what was your favorite part of the process?
It was my first time, so the whole thing from conception to when it went off to college, it was all super cool. Every aspect is totally different, and I don't know, the whole thing's pretty cool, but I just stick to like the community, the film community, and Eugene is top shelf. Sick. I really do think that's like community. It embodies, because we all love doing it, and it was so cool. We'd have so much fun, work hard, but like I'd have so much fun doing it, and everyone's just like the coolest. Do I sound milk toasty?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Everyone, just us coming together to create this thing, especially when it's your vision, is such a beautiful thing to have. Like, what a gift, So, like the whole thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Chelsea. I think she really found it, like, just the community that exists here, where everybody wants everyone else to succeed, and ideas are thrown around, and whichever ones are plausible, gains momentum, and then we take a shot at it. And I think the love of that community, in the fact that everybody's just good, that's first and foremost. That's my favorite thing to be a part of. So everything we do there, like every moment on set, is great. But also the opportunities that specific community has brought to me as like a young actor. Just getting this type of experience in front of cameras, and we had quite a few extras on this set, and we were working amongst a lot of hustle bustle, really, and a lot of lights, and just all of that experience is invaluable for my career. So I think that's a huge part of it for me. Just that it exists is. Yeah.
I do have one favorite. Am I cutting you off?
No, I was running out.
The oneer that you're in with the puppet.
Oh yeah.
And when you're walking down the stairs was my favorite part of filming.
Yeah. That's a huge, and that was a hard shot you guys did.
Yeah, so it
looks amazing. It's so cool.
Sorry, I got excited because it was so much fun. A oneer, for people that don't know, is like where you follow the camera behind them, like in Goodfellas, right? Like where they're walking behind the opening shot. And that was the inspiration for the shot. But everyone was so cool. Like everyone was dressed up in costume, and it was like a dance. Like we were choreographing a dance. Okay, you come through here, and then you spin here with your tutu, and then you wrap your boa around him, and everyone. You had a puppet. Yeah. Everyone had like Elvis masks, and they were all having fun. And it just was such a beautiful process to, it was difficult, but everyone was just like, wow, and that's always fun.
Very cool. Yeah, no, that was an amazing piece. This may go into the next question for you guys. But so the reason, the reason I asked this question is it's a beautiful scene to watch, and it was so easy for me to stand on the stairs and do it as many times as you want. But you guys had a lot to do in that scene and had to move through a lot of people and a lot of objects. And I watched as I stood on that stair, the people and how they manhandled the both of you got more and more aggressive each take. So my next question is, if there is a piece of the process that was your least favorite, what would that be?
Mal?
Oh, well, I mean, I loved that, shooting that scene.
Cool.
It was, and for me, like, I'm cool with physical contact, so the comfortability grew and everyone knew it was safe, and then more and more people got thrown around, and that scene specifically was, a camera motion thing, so Walt was the star of that scene in my mind. And,
he was great in that.
and he just kept running it till he got, what he wanted, and that was cool to watch. My least favorite part is always when I first have to, like, see myself and just acknowledge that it's definitively not my most lovely dream in my head, and it's what reality is.
Well, you were
and then
awesome.
grow, but yeah.
You were awesome in it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed your performance.
Thank you. Yeah, that part, I'm sweating, and I'm like, okay, I watch it. Coming through with this one, though, it was an easy one to grow to love, which is not usually easy for me.
Awesome. Miles, Chelsea.
I think Chelsea remembers something.
Well, we have a question for you, Malachi.
Oh, God.
You already know.
Yeah, I should have brought this one up. Okay, so then
Is that your least favorite part?
No, but it was a lesson. One of the lessons I didn't need to learn on this project, but that I happened to
Great acting
stumble into. So I'm supposed to be smoking a cigarette. Well, we had an idea to add a scene of me smoking a cigarette in the beginning during a phone conversation.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there, and to Walt's credit, he was like, look, you can just hold the cigarette, pretend to smoke it, and at this point, we can do digital effects for the smoke.
Yeah.
You'll be far enough away, we'll figure it out. And I was like, okay, but that doesn't sound true in my head. Let me smoke a cigarette, which happened to be a filterless self-roll.
Oh, wow.
Hardcore.
You didn't even, you jumped right in first.
I jumped in.
Yep.
And we got I think 3 takes of the smoking, so we went through a couple half cigarettes.
Yeah.
And then I threw up outside.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
It was okay. It was pretty bad, but it was fine. But then I proceeded to throw up inside.
Oh no.
What, 3 times?
Did you?
Yeah, I kept in between the takes.
Oh no.
In between some takes, I don't want to make anyone picture it. Certain takes during this film were interrupted, or at least at the very end, I ran away, to puke in the bathroom.
I don't think I knew that. You're such a champ, though.
Yeah.
Because you came back and, killed the scene.
I got myself into it. Yeah, I knew I wasn't going to let it ruin the scene.
Yeah.
The later
Props.
scenes, at least.
Yeah, props.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. But that was fun, ultimately. I look back and I'm like, that's a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you got something to take. You got something for this, right?
Yeah, right.
Thank you
Now
for
you all know.
forcing yourself to smoke cigarettes and give us another good story. We appreciate that.
I
And
wish
Chelsea
I
cut
was
the scene.
Yeah, we didn't even use the scene.
Well,
Sorry.
it's in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was very appreciative of that.
But
Such
was
a
there
champ.
anything for you guys that were? I mean, we all love the process of making
Yeah.
movies and acting, but there are parts that are more fun than others. So, were there other things that you were like, "Oh man, that was not my favorite thing"? And if not, that's okay.
I genuinely, I don't, no, I mean, I was just really happy to do it, and I was like, wow, this is freaking awesome. It was a cool, I mean, one thing comes to mind, it wasn't, there's no bad, I mean, it wasn't really that bad, but Chelsea you wanted me to film that, intro scene that I was pretty confident wasn't going to make it in the movie, and we filmed it, and it didn't make it in the movie, but, I mean, but maybe it could have, who knew, so, I don't know.
Cool.
And it wasn't bad to shoot or something. It was kind of fun. So I don't know. There's no bad part.
Cool.
Because you knew. He knew.
I was pretty
as a
confident. Well, I was
director.
just I had a feeling it wouldn't make it in the movie, and I was like, do we really need to shoot it? But
Yeah.
maybe I don't know. Maybe it.
It got made into the trailer.
Yeah. So, the director's cut, we'll have it.
Yeah.
My least favorite part of it was the working with the DP is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even though like, be flexible, man. Like, be cool. It still is like your baby, kind of, right? And so I like. My first day, we had the dance scene, which is the last scene, and I was like, okay, everyone, we're gonna do this, and this is what we're gonna do. Burr, burr, burr. I got like my director pants on, and then Walt was like, okay, I'm gonna go do this, and I was like, what? You're gonna just go do that without me like right over your shoulder? And he was like, trust me, and I was like, ugh. Like my least favorite part were those moments where it was like, oh God, like that tightness, like I want to hold on to it. But what was funny is that I think the dance scene is the best part of the whole film. And Miles was right, and Rick was right, and Walt was right. Like everything advice people were giving me was right, but it's hard when, especially your first time directing, when, you're like, things clench and you're like, what are you doing? Like,
Well, I feel like you had a really good balance at that though, because it's easy to like to be too open to like people's suggestions, and then there's no like nothing holding it together. But you can also be like way too rigid. But I thought I don't know. I thought that was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree, Chelsea. That's just an inherent skill that you possess and is rare and really helpful for a director.
Thanks, Boo.
The right balancer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna
You're
cry.
so good.
For my very last question, since this is the Scene in Eugene films that we're talking about, what was the most Eugene experience you had making this film? So as you kind of move through it, what was the most Eugene thing you had happen while making this movie?
All these locations just being like, fuck yeah, a movie. And not charging, and just being like, oh, there's like cows in our restaurant, and I don't know. It's just, that was probably,
That's the most Eugene thing. Okay,
Yeah.
I'd say the most Eugene shot, because I go to ecstatic dance and there's a lot of cuddle puddles and things, which is what I wanted to embody. I'd say the most Eugene shot is the cow udders.
That's my favorite scene in the
I've
movie.
been there so
That's
many
my favorite
times.
scene in the movie.
And
I love
it's
that
great,
scene.
isn't it? He's like, it was like claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Walt, by the way.
It's beautiful.
I don't know. I've lived in this town a long time. But I smoked my first cigarette in Eugene.
There you go.
I was like a 12-year-old or whatever. And then I smoked hopefully my last cigarette in Eugene during this film.
That was your most Eugene. I like it. Very, very cool.
Unless there's another role, and then who knows?
And then you
don't smoke it.
Yeah, don't smoke it.
I'll listen to the DP.
Well, guys, thank you all so much for allowing me to come and ask asinine questions of each of you in a garage while it's raining. Chelsea, do you want to tell us when people can expect to watch this amazing film?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. It comes out on October 1st on YouTube and Scene in Eugene channel. And keep a lookout for all the other ones. They're all different and unique. And on October 1st, Live Free or Die comes out.
Cool.